From winning the US Open as a mere 19-year-old to becoming the #1 men's player in the world, here's why other tennis players are scared of playing against Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, Alcaraz is a pretty versatile player, but it's his speed that's both essential and unmatched.
What defense! What offense! Simply stunning.
Now, it's not that simple, to calculate the foot speed of a tennis player. You can't do it the same way you'd calculate an Olympic sprinter's speed. Let me break this down for you. Just imagine, when a player races to the ball, it starts with a little hop in place. But then, the real quickness at that moment is pretty much a matter of the eyes and brain. You try to detect, guess, or bluff within a single split second. Where is the opponent going to hit his shot? And then you might shift your direction to that spot, right? After all this, the ball is off the opponent's racket, and finally, bam, an explosive first step. Oh, and let me tell you guys this, Alcaraz is right at the top when it comes to this. Elite players like him take years of drills to develop this step, but that's not the end of the story, because once this first step is over, you still have to reach for the ball. Here's the time where you'll make adjustment steps, sort of dancing with the smallest strides, so you get the perfect distance between you and the ball. This distance is pretty important, actually.
What a way to finish it!
You see, it'll help you extend your arm comfortably so that you can hit the ball however you like.
Take that.
And again, the young Spaniard is absolutely unmatched when it comes to this. Honestly, his athleticism is insane to the point where it makes someone like Andy Murray look sluggish at times. Besides, it's not like he's had it easy. After all, players have definitely gotten faster over time. Let's see, take Novak Djokovic, for example, or even Rafael Nadal. So, in their prime, they definitely changed the men's game with their speed. Just think, they could chase down sharply angled balls, which flew beyond the double alleys. This quite literally made them clear winners in that early era. Basically, this lateral speed helped them widen the court.
I don't believe it! I don't believe it!
That's why they pay him the big bucks.
But things have changed. Neither of these two great tennis players can even compare. Yep, the 19-year-old Spanish boy Carlos is incomparable. Oh, and don't just take my word for it.
And another one. He is back in the zone. And he knows how important that game was.
Even Francis Tiafoe couldn't stop gushing about the guy's ability. Yep, Francis mentioned that he's never played against a guy who moves as well as Carlos does. He made this statement right after he lost the US Open semifinal to the young Spanish player. It was quite a 5-set thriller. I couldn't take my eyes off it for a second.
I'm gonna come back and I will win this thing one day. I'm sorry, guys.
And later on, when Alcaraz played the US Open men's final, well, his relentless fleetness, in my opinion, was definitely the factor that led to his 6-4, 2-6, 7-6, and 6-3 victory over Casper Ruud from Norway. What a spectacle. So how do you deal with a player like this? His speed would seem to figure into your strategy, right? Well, Ruud had some thoughts about this. His take is that when you're thinking about any player's chief weapons, you usually think about serves or forehands, but it's different with Alcaraz. You see, this guy has the legs. Ruud mentioned that Carlos's speed made him feel like he needed to paint the lines to be able to hit a winner. And even that wasn't enough sometimes. In fact, Carlos is fast and quick. He's a great mover, actually. But things began to change quickly as the final Open match was underway. You see, it was becoming clear that Carlos wasn't racing off to the corners for balls with the same speed as before. Even when he did get there, well, he just wasn't able to hit it with the same control and accuracy that would deflate his opponent, or even bring a crowd to its feet. What changed? I think he was tired. Think about it. He'd already played 3 5-set night matches in a row to get to this final. In fact, one of these matches, the quarterfinal, was against Jannik Sinner. This 22-year-old kept Carlos fighting till almost 3 in the morning on a Thursday. Yep, that's literally the latest any US Open match has ever ended. I do think that everybody needs to rethink the scheduling of this tournament. I mean, that's just absurd, right? So essentially, our guy had no recovery recovery day between the matches. He had just a couple of hours. Anyone would have been tired, but even when he was tired, what he managed to pull off was quite impressive. You see, he still took the first set against Ruud with a different technique. Yep, basically, he used his legs to the best effect. So even though he wasn't moving laterally, he was still sprinting forward towards the net. This was clever because when you're tired, you can shorten points and preserve the energy you've got. So Alcaraz has pretty good hands for a player as young as he is. In fact, he's now playing in an era in which you don't need to come to the net. He's got the footwork, he's also got the confidence to run through these volleys. So forget about textbook stopping and squaring up. In the old days, this would help you get your body into the shot and drive it. But by the third game of the first set, Ruud was serving and Carlos managed to knife a volley deep. This ended up skidding so low that Ruud wasn't able to get any swing on it at all. So this helped him bring the game to 0-40. Crazy, right? In fact, just 2 points later, Carlos was able to secure the set's only break. Though there's an interesting reason why Carlos kept going forward, because apparently he was following. He was really nervous about his energy running out. That's why he couldn't hang with Ruud in the long baseline rallies, because of the near-endless matches he'd already played, you know? I guess he was right about that. So yes, Ruud did end up winning most of the longer rallies. He hit the corners with an excellent topspin forehand. In fact, he was able to surprise Carlos with backhands redirected down the line. So by the time the second set came around, Ruud gained more momentum. You see, now he was getting to Carlos's gossamer drop shots too. And you're right in thinking that this was another ploy to end points more quickly. This is why Ruud broke him 2 times and evened out the match. But after his 12th game of the third set, everything changed. You see, Alcaraz came to the court for the 4th set with a freshness.
If you hit anyone short to Alcaraz, you are under the gun.
Kasper Ruud to serve.
That being confident can instill. It was crazy. I mean it. He just destroyed ground strokes hard and deep. His serve could not have looked better, I'm telling you. See, he was serving 5-3. He even struck 2 aces. After all this, at 40-30, he managed to deliver a serve that Ruud wasn't able to put back into play. Yep, with this final triumph, he collapsed on the ground, rolled over, and started sobbing. This was it. He'd outlasted the final opponent. He could finally rest. And this is exactly why other tennis players are afraid of playing against him. He's a record breaker, a force to be reckoned with. Literally.
I always say that you have to believe in yourself all the time. The hope is there.
No other teenager in the men's game has won a major since Nadal, and that too happened back in 2005. His serves, his speed, his energy, everything is out of this world. His win has earned him 2,000 ranking points. He has broken so many records. No other teenager has ever been ranked 1 since 1973. That's when the computer system was instituted. So yes, this is why other tennis players are scared of Carlos.